And that's the return for my investment, is that I get to help house 25 people. So I don't think it's noble. I think it's just enlightened. If you've got extra money, you can buy a big yacht or a condo up in some ski resort, or you could buy a very simple apartment building and let a housing organization run it for you, so you don't have any of the stress that comes with being a landlord. And every night I go to sleep knowing that 25 moms and their kids are getting a nice, cozy place to call home.
Oh, man, that just warms my heart. Hey, we can't thank you enough. We'll have to have you come back and talk about all this again another time. Thanks so much to Rick Steves.
All right, Mitch, nice talking to you, and let's look forward to 2016 when 4 or 5 more states are going to see the light.
Here we go. Yes, indeed. Hey, it's Mitch Earlywine. We'll be right back with more Burning Issues.
More Burning Issues coming up after we blaze through these words from our sponsors.
Ganjapreneur.com, your guide to the cannabis business world. Ganjapreneur.com is a comprehensive resource for cannabis professionals and entrepreneurs. Download the Ganjapreneur app on your smartphone or tablet to catch up on cannabis industry news, scroll through our daily job listings, and learn about successful cannabis companies, executives, and investors. Ganjapreneur.com, helping Ganjapreneurs grow.
MJWellness.com, the largest medical marijuana community in the world. Connect with thousands of patients, doctors, industry leaders, and businesses through shared personal experiences along our worldwide network. Discover new therapies and benefits with content tailored to you. Come grow your network on MJWellness.com. You're not alone. Your wellness matters. Learn, live, and thrive. Check out MJWellness.com today.
Growing green to generate more green.
Hello to all you happy herbalizers, smiling trippy hippies, and everyone who believes in freedom and tolerance. This is The Grow Show, and I'm Kyle Cushman.
From food to fuel, from remedy to resource.
Welcome my guest, Ed Rosenthal, the guru of ganja. Let me ask you, right now I hear your lighter clicking. Are you smoking indoor or are you smoking sun-grown?
What am I smoking? I'm smoking concentrate.
Way to get out of the answer there. So you're truly like the king, right? You just clap your hands and somebody brings you a bowl and you're all set, right?
I wish that were the case.
The Grow Show with Kyle Cushman, only on CannabisRadio.com.
Time to fan the fire on some more burning issues, only on CannabisRadio.com.
Hey, welcome back to Burning Issues. I'm Dr. Mitch Earlywine with our next chapter of Self-Compassion in the Art of Activism. Here's the part of our show that encourages all our listeners to take good care of themselves and each other to support the Cannabis Crusade. Today's focus is on social, a fancy way of saying how great it is to have friends. Literally 3 million papers have been published about social support. It plays an important role in everything from anxiety to xenophobia. We probably evolved to enjoy hanging around each other. Whether we're sitting around the fire back in the Bronze Age or sitting around the home theater here in the 21st century, humans always seem to do better in groups. No one of us is as smart as all of us put together, of course, but in addition, few people are quite as happy alone as they are among friends. The research on social support can be a little peculiar. It's really not how many friends you have that matters. In many ways, having one close friend is markedly better than having 100 friendly acquaintances or 4,000 friends on social media. And your perceived support might be more important than any of those. That is, the more you notice all the support you've got, the better you feel. It's especially good if your friends seem to enjoy hearing what you think. It's a big help if your relationship seems open. And it's nice to think your friends seek you out for companionship. We all know social support is great, but what can we do to enhance it? Most of the ways to improve social support make perfect sense once you hear them. Sometimes, as simple as they are, we still forget to do them. 4 of the easiest ways to enhance social support are really, well, they're obvious, but you still got to do them. I call these make the time, call the room, help a sibling out, and schedule the appointment. First and foremost, make the time. Friendships take time. It's always great to know that you can be away from your real pals and pick up where you left off, but why have to? Funny how keeping up regularly makes you feel as if you're part of someone's life and that someone's part of your life. Even a hermit knows that regular contact keeps that lonely feeling away. And it's always nice to talk to someone about your week without having to explain the whole month. So make the time. You got to eat lunch anyway. Why not do it with a friend? And who says you got to go to the laundromat all alone? In addition to making the time, call the room. That is, when you're having a good time with a buddy, say so. Hey, this is fun, or even great party. Goes a long way. It not only lets your friends know that you're having a superb time, it also helps them take a moment to notice all the fun they're having with you. Funny how these moments can build on each other. You say you're having fun, your friend says the same, and then you're both having a better time. Give this one a try sometime this week and let me know how it goes. In addition to calling the room, help a sibling out. When a brother or sister needs a favor, lend a hand. It should feel natural to offer to drive a pal to the airport or pick up some munchies on the way over. If it does, go ahead and do it. If it doesn't, I gotta wonder, is this person really a friend or not? And don't be afraid to ask for a hand when the time comes. Nobody expects you to be made of steel. Maybe you're the one who needs a ride or a snack. No harm asking. And if the thought of asking makes you uncomfortable, again, I gotta ask, is this your friend or not? Finally, schedule that appointment. By schedule the appointment, I mean plan a time to get in touch again. You don't have to nail down the specifics of your next outing. Sometimes that can feel a little pushy. But you can explain when you'll get your next message across. It can be a simple part of a gracious goodbye. You can always say, text you later in the week, see you Thursday, or the familiar, smell you tomorrow. These messages let folks know that they can expect you to be in touch soon. Of course, if you don't want to be in touch soon, you've learned a valuable lesson too. So hey, thanks for scheduling a few moments to listen. I had a good time with you all today. Let me know if you need anything at 420research@gmail.com, and I'll smell you next week on the show. So thanks for listening to Burning Issues at Cannabis Radio. You can also find us on iHeartRadio and iTunes. My hearty thanks to producer extraordinaire Brasco and our guest, Rick Steves of Rick Steves Europe. I'm Dr. Mitch Earlywine. Follow your heart and let the data be your guide.
The opinions expressed on this CannabisRadio.com program are those of the guests and hosts and do not necessarily reflect those of the staff and management of CannabisRadio.com. Any rebroadcast or redistribution without proper consent of CannabisRadio.com is prohibited. Maui Wowie, Acapulco Gold, California Kush. Our strains stretch everywhere too. This is the Cannabis Radio Network.
BBC News with David Austin. Britain says it's more likely than not that a bomb brought down a Russian airliner over Egypt last Saturday, killing more than 200 people. It said the assessment was based on a review of all the intelligence available. Russia said it was shocked that Britain hadn't shared the alleged information with Moscow. London has stopped all British flights to and from the Egyptian resort of Sharm el-Sheikh. The U.S. Defense Secretary has visited a U.S. aircraft carrier in the South China Sea. Beijing described the visit as provocative and a threat to the sovereignty and security of other countries. The Real Madrid football star Karim Benzema has been placed under formal investigation for complicity in attempts to blackmail his fellow French international Mathieu Valbuena. If formal charges follow, Benzema could face a jail sentence of at least 5 years. Reports from Syria say that rebel groups have captured a town on the vital highway from Damascus to Aleppo. On Wednesday, government forces said they'd retaken control of the alternative route to Aleppo. Kurdish militants in Turkey have announced an end to a short-lived ceasefire. In a statement on a news agency close to the militants, the PKK said that its month-long halt to hostilities was over as a result of what it called the governing AK party's war policy. The biggest anti-corruption trial in Italy for years has opened in Rome after the city's finances and services were brought to the brink of collapse. Mafia bosses, local politicians and businessmen are among some 4 suspects accused of pocketing millions of dollars. The Israeli Prime Minister's nominee as his new spokesman has been criticized for linking a speech by President Obama to anti-Semitism. Referring to the Iran nuclear deal, Ran Baratz said tolerance for Islamic anti-Semitism was so great that the US president was willing to give it a nuclear bomb. That's the latest BBC News.
Great websites today need expert web design and development and need to be e-commerce ready and mobile friendly. But building a marketable and profitable website can be an uphill climb. Ready to make your new website or replace your existing website? Think Orange as the new way to get in the black. Orange Hill Development works with Fortune 500 companies and offer the same top quality development service at a fraction of what other providers charge. Brands like Absolute, Carlsberg, and Nestea trust Orange Hill Development. Find out why you should trust your website with Orange Hill. Contact Orange Hill for a consultation today at orangehilldevelopment.com.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. UK Prime Minister David Cameron is hosting Egypt's President Sisi for talks in London as Britain grounds its flights out of Sharm el-Sheikh over security concerns. Britain's Foreign Secretary now says there is a significant possibility the crash of a Russian plane in Egypt was caused by a bomb. The flight from Sharm el-Sheikh to St. Petersburg came down with 224 people on board, all of whom died. Egypt has dismissed claims a militant group with links to the Islamic State could have been responsible. Rachel Venables is at Luton Airport, from where flights to Sharm el-Sheikh have been cancelled.
Any of the passengers who turn up, they will be told to just go back home. That's as the government try and work out if the Russian airliner was brought down by a bomb on Saturday. So a plane full of passengers which did leave Luton under 24 hours ago. A flight left yesterday on time, and all of the people who arrived in Sharm el-Sheikh just after 6 yesterday would have got off the plane, basically got down the steps, got into the airport, checked on their phones and seen that all flights to and from the area have been cancelled for the time being.
UK tourist Helen, who is in Sharm el-Sheikh, says she will try not to let it affect her future travel plans, though.
You could be anywhere and these sort of things happen, unfortunately, in the world that we live in these days, so it's not going to change anything. You just have to keep your wits around you, and at least we know that the government and everyone are taking these measures and they're looking out for us.
Well, reporter Theo Usherwood is at Downing Street for us ahead of David Cameron's talks with President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi.
The chance to seek assurances that he needs on Egypt's security situation. He'll undoubtedly be asking what extra measures is President Sisi going to put in place to safeguard British tourists. The Egyptian Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry has already spoken out against Mr Cameron's decision to ground that flight, ground all flights, describing that decision as premature and unwarranted.
In other news now, and a major rescue operation is going on in Lahore in Pakistan to save dozens of people who are thought to be trapped after a factory collapsed there. At least 7 people are thought to have died. The factory collapsed on Wednesday under construction. Cranes and bulldozers are now being used, and the army has been brought in to help the rescue efforts. The opposition leader in Myanmar, Aung San Suu Kyi, says she would be above the president if her National League for Democracy party wins the election there on Sunday. The NLD is expected to perform well in the vote, but Aung San Suu Kyi is banned from taking the role of president by the country's constitution. The elections will be Myanmar's first openly contested vote in 25 years. For more from FSN, you can like us on Facebook. You'll find video reporting and behind-the-scenes pictures, facebook.com/featurestorynews. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN. Bali's international airport is reopened earlier than planned after ash from Mount Barujari on neighbouring Lombok Island began blowing in a more southerly direction and no longer towards Denpasar Airport. Arthur Stevens has more.
The airport was given clearance to